strengthen Donald Trump's re-election bid. Let's just call it what it is. And with that, I yield back my time.
I thank the chairman, and I thank our witnesses for being here today. And, Mr. Slavitt, in your book, Preventable, you wrote that, quote, "But even accounting for Trump, other deep-seated issues that are part of our culture and national identity emerge to haunt us. Our obsession with individual liberties, even at the expense of others' lives and health." Is it a bad thing that Americans feel strongly about individual liberties?
Certainly not.
How then did individual liberties become a barrier to, what are you talking about there?
I didn't suggest that they're a barrier.
What's the trade-off there? You feel like that some liberties should be curtailed?
I feel like, first of all, what I wrote as a private citizen, I want to emphasize, I think that it's important to have dialogues about all these issues, and I think that's what we were attempting to do with social media companies.
You were actively curtailing liberties, which is what you were doing.
No, I don't believe.
Are you proud of the work that you did?
Certainly. Yeah.
Why? What did you accomplish?
Well, by most estimations, 3 million American lives were saved, not just by my work, but by the work of 2 administrations, a bunch of scientists, the military.
And that was because you exerted influence to be able to get what you believe saved those lives out.
Because the country pulled together, I think, in quite a pretty responsible way during a pretty tough time.
No remorse, no regrets over asking social medias to censor Americans?
I'm self-critical, but I never asked social media companies to censor anything.
Right, just take it down, or just don't sell the books. We don't really want you to keep selling these books that you're selling.
No, that's not what I said. With due respect, Mr. Congressman, what I said was, I want to understand how your policies to promote these books, not to sell them, but to put them on the equivalent of the end cap of the aisle and say these are the most important books to read.
So it was okay if they had them somewhere, just not online.
It's okay.
If they had them in a used bookstore.
It's
Mr.
acceptable
Flaherty,
for them to do whatever they wanted.
Mr. Flaherty, you proud of the work you did?
Yes, Congressman, I am.
Why? Did you feel like you exerted some influence over people?
Congressman, I'm proud of the administration's efforts to save lives and
I didn't ask about the administration. I asked about you. Are you happy? You feel like you did a good thing?
Congressman, I'm very proud of the work we did in the administration to save lives.
So the means did justify the ends, right? So it was okay that we curtailed freedom because the outcome was desirable.
Congressman, I want to dispute the characterization.
Is that what the First
of our
Amendment
work.
says?
We certainly
what it
were
says?
not censoring, threatening, or providing consequences to companies. We were raising up.
I think the American people will conclude that you were in fact doing that. And I think once we get to share all the transcripts with the public, I think the unredacted versions will make it very clear that's exactly what you were doing, and that's what the social media companies knew you were doing and why they conformed. And recently, the House gave the executive branch, even in the Senate, and now it's a law, we gave the administration, the executive branch, even more authority. Recently, the House voted to ban TikTok. While Xi Jinping and the Chinese Communist Party are a threat, I voted against this ban because I have serious concerns that banning social media platforms is more harmful to free speech in America than to China. We have a White House that is engaging in coercive activity so that they can actively control the narrative on social media and, frankly, on an online bookstore, the most ubiquitous one in the world. This is the same kind of stuff the Chinese Communist Party does, and they heavily regulate media and online speech. I'm extremely worried that a platform ban provides another point of leverage for the executive branch, for government to exercise coercion over private companies to effectively censor Americans and their First Amendment protected right to speech. We will not counter China by becoming more like China, yet that's exactly what we've done with this TikTok Trojan horse. Congress effectively granted a rogue White House the same control over internet activity that the Chinese Communist Party exercises in China. It is a grave mistake, and I hope we correct it, because we can see here today that we already have an administration that tried to launch a disinformation governance board. Were either of you part of those discussions?
I was not part of anything like that, no.
Congressman, I was not part of this.
Heavily related to the activity that you guys were engaged in. So when you say we at the very highest levels, would that include President? I mean, the highest level at the White House is President Biden, right?
Congressman, again, it shouldn't surprise anybody that we were, as an administration, focused intently on getting the American public vaccinated. This is a thing that everyone at every level of the administration
But
spoke
so
to on a
again,
daily
the
basis.
means justify the ends. We can cancel speech and violate it. I think it's a shame that this has happened, and I hope we criminalize it, because you should not be able to violate the First Amendment rights of American citizens and not have consequences for it. My time has expired, and I yield.
The gentleman yields back. The